Alright, what's up YouTube? We're back here for another modern video. I don't think this is going to be the first video with humans that I've actually done on the channel, so for those interested in the humans content, you're going to like this one. The reason I wanted to play some humans today is I actually think it might be decently positioned in the metagame. The new Tybalt's Trickery deck has kind of been all over the place. Streamers alike have been playing against it several times and across leagues. For those unfamiliar with that deck, it's basically very similar to the old Hypergenesis decks where it just plays a Cascade spell. The only thing it cascades into is the combo piece, and the combo piece puts a giant Eldrazi into play. That's kind of the big gist of it. Why this deck is so good against it is you just have Meddling Mage, which they can't beat, Freebooter, which is very good, Thalia, which is very hard for them to beat, and then you have, obviously, decent amount of pressure. And the only matchup where I think that this deck might be struggling against is potentially the Uro decks, which is why we've got up to 3 copies of General Kudro, which is another way to exile Uro after they've cast the front half. And then we also have some Magus of the Moons to fight against the Uro pile's greedy mana bases after boarding. So that's good. We still have Auric Champions X4 because the Prowess matchup is not great. We have some Skyclave's main deck, not a human, but just overall one of the best white cards printed in quite some time. And the rest of this pretty usual suspects, nothing fancy here. We have 4 mages in the 75, but we have 3 and 1 as the split. We have Teague as another anti-blue / combo card. We have some graveyard hate here, and then some removal spells along with a Plague Engineer to go for the mirror, I guess. Infect, all that stuff. But yeah, nothing too fancy, so let's go ahead and get started. Boomer Humans. Is the Trickery deck really that insane? I don't think so. I think it's just overhyped. I think it's overblown. I think if you go back and... Canister was streaming it today, and if you go back and watch Canister's stream from today, I think that is a very good representation of why the deck is not very good. He cast the thing on turn 2 a couple, multiple times. He bricked into whatever, a Simian Spirit Guide, a Mystical Dispute, a Mindbreak Trap. It's just... The deck it's wildly inconsistent, and I don't think it's very good. If you're good at high rolling, then it's good, but... Any reason why we're on one of each Horizon land? So, previously, I was playing 3 Canopies and no Sunbaked Canyon, but I wanted extra red source for the Maguses in the sideboard. It's the only difference in this mana base. Kuzan995, thank you for the follow. By the way, chat, we are approaching 3,000 followers on Twitch. I think we're only less than 100 away from that, so that'd be sweet when we hit that. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you for following. If you're not already, be sure to hit that follow button. For those watching on YouTube, I'm going to post the link to my Twitch channel in the description below, so you can go check out my Twitch there if you want to see more content. Trickery is just oops one spell? Yeah, exactly. Alright, so here for round number 1, we have lost the die roll. And our opponent has shown us a Lurrus, which is unfortunate because I think Lurrus is one of the weaker matchups. Depending on what Lurrus deck they're playing, I mean, it could be Prowess, it could be Mill, I guess, it could be Merfolk. This is not a hand that I'm really ever going to mulligan in any matchup, so definitely a keep here. Lurrus also means probably no Wrenn and 6, so I'm much more inclined to keep a hand that has Hierarch and not... Or I'm okay keeping a hand that has Hierarch and no Bile. That is true, Reptar. That is factual information. Bumped into you playing... Yeah, you were playing Abzin, right, Code Diamonds? I wasn't a fan. I ended up 0-3 dropping that league. I just, even... I had main deck Blood Moons to try and fight the Uro decks. I just don't really think that you can play Jund in this format. I mean, when you cascade into Valky, it's pretty cool, but... Yeah, they mulled the 5? They mulled the 5, so yeah, Hammer Time most likely. They do have a 1-drop, which is unfortunate. Or a 0-drop, excuse me. A 1-mana... A turn 1 play was what I meant to say. I mean, Thalia is pretty good against them. Also, if they go for a hammer, I can just take a hit and then Reflector Mage the creature, so... They have 1 card left. Okay, perfect. So I'm okay taking one here. I think I might just play Thalia here to make it so I can't get double hammered, and then they're going to hammer, and then once they hammer, I can just Reflector Mage the thing they equip. So I can just play Thalia, take one hit. They can't get double hammered because Thalia makes their hammer cost 2. That's what I want to do. Not sure if that's right, but... Also, like, makes it awkward if they draw a Mishra's Bauble or something else, because we know their last card. You know how I could sell the set? I can't add it to a binder. That I don't know. I've never actually sold a sealed set. Every time I've opened a set, I've just opened it and sold the individual cards, so I'm not actually sure how to do that. Alright, I'll happily take this. They may not go for the hammer this turn, but if they drew nothing, they kind of have to. Although they probably assume I have Reflector Mage, so... Alright, they are going to go for it. So we don't know their last card. Which is fine. Go to 7, not really that big of a deal. Now we get to go land. Reflector Mage your Memnite. And then I get to send for 3 and have the Reflector Mage back. And if they drew a second hammer, I am going to block this turn. If they have second hammer, then I just have the second Reflector Mage, so it's not that bad for me. Then we can start applying a much faster clock with double spelling next turn. You could also redeem it. That's also an option. I wonder if they're just going to put Lurrus in their hand, because they can't cast the Memnite. Steel Shaper's Gift. Alright, good to know. So their hand is Colossus Hammer and Memnite. So I don't actually want to cast this Reflector Mage here. What I do want to do is play Thalia's Lieutenant. I guess I'll play a Territory. Doesn't matter too much which land I play. And... which creature do I want to chump block with? I guess probably the Noble Hierarch, actually. Because what I can do is I can put Lieutenant on the Memnite, Hierarch on the Stoneforge. If they put the hammer on the Memnite, this is a bounce, so I don't lose the Hierarch anyways. They don't usually play removal main decks, so I don't really need to play around a removal spell. Also, if they draw a removal spell, they don't have a land to cast removal spell and hammer, so... but they don't usually play removal game 1. Inkmoth Nexus. I wonder if they're going to wait on the hammer now. That's interesting. They might. That'd be really bad for me. I would need to draw a Meddling Mage at that point. Or a Mantis Rider to block. Yeah, this was actually a really good draw for them. Because now they can just wait on the hammer if they are playing another Reflector Mage. We need to find, again, Meddling Mage, Mantis Rider. Oh, that's true. They have Stoneforge. Mage doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's a good point. Are they just putting Lurrus there? Wait, why are they doing this? What? I don't know why they're doing this pre-combat. Is there a reason to do pre-combat? I don't understand. I don't really see a reason to do that pre-combat. And they have Sigarda's Aid. I'd actually think I'd rather chump block with Noble Hierarch here. Because I have enough lands, and I think this is just going to be worth more damage overall than the Hierarch. So. Yeah, I don't really understand that play. Got punished for blocking with the Noble Hierarch, of course. No, not that I think it's going to matter too much, but... So I have lethal. Play Kudro. Actually, wait a minute, hold on. What if I do it this way? If I play Kudro, this would be 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. They would have to chump block. The other thing about leaving up Kudro, playing Kudro this turn, is I get to play around a third hammer, right? Because if they draw a third hammer, they can animate Nexus, attack, and equip. Should I respect the third hammer, though? Interesting. Could play Kudro and just leave back the Lieutenant. I think playing Kudro and leaving back the Lieutenant to chump block the Stoneforge is better. Because, yeah, I think that's got to be better. That has to be better. But I don't want to chump block with Kudro, so I think I want to leave back the Lieutenant in that case. No, I wouldn't lose to a top deck hammer, right? Because I have 3. I'll have... Oh, I guess I would. Because I'm not forcing a chump block. That's a good point. Because if I attack with these two... I go, no, because I just block. And if they hammer this, then I just sack to Kudro. So I wouldn't lose to a hammer. So this line beats a top deck hammer no matter what. Which I think is worth it. Right, and if they do that, then I just kill their Inkmoth with Kudro. What are you talking about? Do you not know what Kudro does? Yeah. Pretty sure this line just beats every single top deck they have. Yeah, they messed up pretty bad last turn by main phasing the hammer. I don't know how much it would have mattered, because I would have made the same block, and I would have still made this same play. You got another hammer. Okay, well now they're just dead, right? They can't attack because they're dead on board, and we have the mage. Alright, game number 2. Should have targeted a Mem Knight, but, I mean, they're dead anyway, so it doesn't matter. Not gonna, I've never seen Kudro's activated ability be used. I've killed a couple Uros with Kudro before. It's kind of nice, too, because you get to kill the Uro, and then if you have another human follow-up, you just get to exile it immediately. They could think you have a blue-eye counter-spirit. Alright, Skyclave, very good. Dismember, very good. Reflector Mage, very good. What's bad against them? How many... What's their creature type split like? Let me look at a deck list. I'm not familiar with other creature types. I imagine that Engineer's not ideal, so I probably don't want it, but I just want to see what their split looks like. Just curious. So Mem Knight's a construct, that's a Thopter, the Human Knight. Yeah, it's not very good. I mean, it stops Inkmoth Nexus, but I don't know if that's that relevant. Yeah, it's literally just Inkmoth, yeah. So if I have an extra card to cut, maybe I could bring it in, but I also just don't even know what's bad against them. All my cards seem really good. Maybe I cut Image. Pretty sure I want... Maybe I don't want all my reflectors in the draw. It's a little slow, unless I have Hierarch. Maybe Thalia on the draw is also not great, but Thalia looked pretty good that game. And I kind of like the images if I'm bringing in the Apparition and the Reflector Mage. Kudro, I think, is pretty good, although 3 might be a lot of Kudros. I could probably shave a Kudro. What if I just did this? Because I am bringing in 2 3-drops, so I don't mind cutting a Kudro. You don't like the freebooters in the draw and into removal. Freebooter is so good against Stoneforge Mystic, though. And it's pretty good against, what you call it, Steel Shaper's Gift. If they can't commit the equipment that turn. They just have 2 cards that put the best card in their deck into their hand, and it seems like I don't want to cut Freebooter. Yeah, I can't imagine cutting Freebooter. You can Image Plague and name other things. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like on the draw, Plague Engineer, I don't really think that's where I want to be. I think I'm going to try this and see how it goes. Yeah, like turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, you follow up with Freebooter. It's just, I think it's too good. Yeah, I assume I keep this hand. It doesn't have a 1-drop, and it's kind of clunky on 3s, but I have Dismember into Freebooter. I could see mulliganing this hand, but maybe this hand's not good. So what's best case scenario? They just YOLO it on turn 2, and I Dismember them, follow up with Freebooter. It's hard to mulligan a Dismember on the draw, so I think I'm going to keep it. I think, especially when your opponent keeps 7. Fried Greg's. Thank you for the follow. Alright. Human. Your move. Aboji, thank you for the follow. Oh, just go for it. No big deal. I don't have anything. Just go for it. They're actually going for it. I was joking, but... Alright, we have successfully stopped their combination. Hopefully we get something with this Freebooter. It's an interesting draw, but I still think I want to play Freebooter here. Okay. Did not get anything. So their hand is Giver Stoneforge Clearing. Maybe I was supposed to play Noble there. Not sure. Yeah, I guess Noble would have allowed me to play Skyclave. And they played the planes that... Oh, they interestingly played the Giver instead of... Okay. Alright, now I'd like to draw lands. So now I can just name Spirit and Skyclave versus Gardazaid. I mean, another hand is Silent Clearing Hammer. It's kind of awkward to name Spirit with 2 riders in hand, but we have this the turn after, so we can still ride her in 2 turns. So I think it's fine. Yeah, I think I maybe should have nobled. I think it's close. I guess, like, with them having no creatures in play, there's not a lot of non-creature cards that I care about with Kitesail. So I guess it probably makes more sense to noble there, right? Because what am I even freebooting at that point? The only cards I particularly care about are creatures. What's up, Magoose? Alright, I need them to dodge an artifact. That's bad for me. Well, they drew kind of 2 best possibles, so now I might lose. Oh, we're actually literally just dead. Oh, yeah, cool. Alright. I feel like even if I had nobled the turn where I should have nobled, I think I still would have lost that game, because I would have nobled, then I still would have played the same, I still would have played Skyclave that turn, and then I still would have lost to exactly Paladin into 0-drop, so I don't think it mattered. I mean, opponent drew, like, Stone Cold Perfects. I think that was a game where I was like 95% to win, but sometimes they do. Game 3. Pretty sure this matchup is unlosable, but I've said stuff like that before. I just don't respect the Hammer Time deck. Chat knows. No, we knew their hand, Connor. They needed to draw exactly Paladin into Artifact. Their hand was just nothing. Like, they got incredibly lucky to win that game. If they don't draw the Paladin, they just don't do anything. Took Skyclave. Just yam this Rider? Yeah, I think so. Start slamming. Especially after they thought he's on turn 1. Just kind of put a little bit of pressure on them. Famous Last Rider. Something like that. Guess I should have played Reflector Mage, XD. Because they had a second Mem Knight. See what they do here. Gonna play a Stoneforge. Fatal Push. Okay. Their draw is above average, I would say. But they may just not even have a way to equip this. Knowing me, they probably have the Pure Steel, but... Alright, they got Hammer. Makes sense. Take 1. Champion of the Parish. Well, I don't want a Reflector Mage until they expose the Hammer, so I'm just going to do this. See what they do. They have to be a little bit careful of their life total, especially with these 2 clearings. Yeah, sure. I mean, more hammers is not going to do anything. More hammers don't really have any relevance. So another hand is 2 hammers and 1 unknown. Are they casting a hammer here? That'd be kind of weird. Okay, so we know their last 2 cards are hammers. Well, so if I actually think they messed up by playing this, because now if they draw Sigarda's Aid, it doesn't really do anything, right? If I can force a chump block here. What if I just Reflector Mage their Stoneforge and attack with everything? That forces a chump block, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it does. I think that's good. They're just not going to have time to recast this. I want to bounce the Stoneforge so they don't get a free block on the Noble either. So they have to chump block the champion, take 3, go to 4. They have 1 creature in play. They can't... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like now... And now even if they draw Sigarda's Aid, they don't have 2 creatures. So I can just block their Mem Knight. They hammer, and they're still dead on board, so... Well, I just don't think they have any outs now. Oh, Pure Steel? So they can go Pure Steel, Cast Hammer. I mean, yeah, it's a 4-outer. 4 out of 47. Do the math, Connor. I just, it's like, if they draw Pure Steel Paladin, sure, I might lose this game. I don't even think they would have lethal if they drew Pure Steel, right? Unless they also drew a land off of it. Yeah, but I don't know. That was their only out. And I couldn't really play around Pure Steel anyways. I think this was the best line that also allowed me to beat Sigarda's Aid, so. Anyways, yeah, I think this matchup is really good for humans. For those of you who frequent the stream, you know my disdain for the hammer deck. I don't think it's particularly great, but for those of you watching on YouTube, I'll see you in the next round just a little bit. All right, YouTube, we are back for round number 2 with our Humans League. We're on the draw. Our opponent did not reveal a companion. Just added some chats with our opponent. All right, so 2 vials, Noble. I guess Hand's okay. I'm going to keep it. Not ideal. Like, the second vial's not the best, but we get to go turn 1 vial, turn 2 vial, vial, and Noble, so it's not that bad. All right, the third vial's probably bad. Third vial, not what the doctor was looking for. I think they'll ever ban Uro and make this format not complete trash. I hope so. It's gotten to the point where I've started playing Uro Magus. That's when you know it's bad. When I start playing Uro, that's when you know it's bad. Waterlogged Grove Forest. Wonder what that means. I am one of them now. Okay. I don't think I've seen Waterlogged Grove in a Growth Spiral deck before. I guess it makes sense with if you're playing Red and 6. If you're playing Teamer, you could buy that. Exclamation point jig in the chat. It does not mean that, Ryan. Thank you for the bits, though. Alright, so 4-color, Uro Omnath. See how good / bad this matchup is. I feel like it's probably not a great matchup, but I don't know. You kind of need to be really aggressive against them, and this is not the most aggressive of hands, which is why I'm a little skeptical. Another Growth Spiral, that's fine. And Swept Teeth. Def Jed, thanks for the raid, buddy. Appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream. Playing 4-color Omnath and Paper tonight to make more friends. You mean less friends? Let's see if they have a Teferi. Teferi would be a little unfortunate, because they get to bounce the vial on 1, but we do get to kill their Teferi if they do that, which is not the worst. But us killing Teferi means we're not playing a spell, like a Lieutenant, so I wouldn't mind drawing a land here. I could also ignore Teferi. Okay, Cavern's not a bad draw. How much do we care about this Teferi? So we can go Lieutenant, attack Teferi. Could just play 2 more vials, attack Teferi. I kind of think playing Lieutenant is bad, because then we only have 1 vial in play. I could play Mantis Rider and attack Teferi, but then these other vials look kind of sus. And then we take the other one up to 2, and then we can go Kudra Lieutenant next turn. It's not the worst. 2, 3, and 3, 2, but such as Magic and Smart. Oh yeah, for sure, Def Jed. This is a weird spot. I think I'm gonna. Oh, man, it feels really bad to take it slow. They have 4 cards. They're at 14. What if I just ignored Teferi and attack them? Could play Mantis Rider, put them to 10. I'm not presenting lethal next turn, though, right? Because I can Kudra Lieutenant, but that only makes this 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, right. So I'm just going to double Vial here. I'm just going to double Vial and kill Teferi. I don't love this play, but... I just don't want these other Vials to be rotting in our hand. I want these Vials to do something. Oh, do they have a Titan? They don't expect that. It's not great for me. Just to get 2 fields, make 4 zombies. I might be able to race this if they don't have a removal spell for this Rider. Because I can double Rider here. Go Rider, Image Rider. They chose to get Blast Zone, which is fine as long as they don't have a removal spell. I do still win the race as long as they don't have a removal spell. But they have 3 cards, so that's a little optimistic. Alright, so Mantis Rider, Image Rider, attack for 6, put them to 7. Sounds like the play to me. That was a good one. We're at 7. So if I'm able to put Lieutenant and Kudro into play, make them both 5 power, which is not quite lethal. They're gonna pop the Blast Zone here anyways, but again, as long as they don't have another removal spell, we could still present lethal, but they probably do. I do get to eat some zombies, which they're not attacking with. Obviously cannot afford to double block Titan. They may just have Cryptic and we can't win. Ghost Quarta. Okay. I will choose to take 6 damages. Go to 14. Yeah, I mean, we're just dead to Cryptic no matter what we do, right? Dead to Cryptic no matter what we do. It doesn't matter which one I play. Show me the Cryptic. I think we are dead. We're dead. Alright, unfortunate. Game number 2. Looks like our opponent's a little heavier on the Titan plan than the 4-color Omnath plan. I don't know if that changes our sideboarding plan. Definitely want Magus. Potentially want Gaddock Teeg. Not in love with Gaddock Teeg, though. Well, I have a Cavernous Soul, so it didn't matter. I think Apparition is pretty bad. They don't usually have a lot of good targets for Apparition, and it can, like, set you up and walk you into some 2-for-1s. I feel like if they have a bunch of Titans, maybe I want more Reflector Mages. I think I'm fine keeping all 4 Meddling Mage because it names Titan and Cryptic. I want to keep my Kudros because they're most likely an Uro deck. I think Image is pretty bad. I just keep 2 images, or I could go Teeg Reflector. Teeg shuts off Cryptic, which could be big. I'd rather just have 2 Image is like good against their Titans too. I also don't think it gets better. I mean, we have Magus. They probably are almost cold to Magus. Maybe. I like this hand has lands and spells, but I don't think this is a hand that's ever really realistically going to beat them. So I think I'm actually going to take a mulligan. All right, this hand is better. I'm going to put back Sunbaked Canyon, I think. Because if I draw Magus, I want to make sure I have the basic island. Yeah, that's fine. Why no Teague? I don't know. Like, they have Primeval. I don't think Chaotic Teague is very good against decks that have Primeval Titan. Like, yes, it stops Cryptic, but, I mean, they just cast Primeval Titan, you know? I don't think it's particularly great. It's okay. Like, you could make an argument for it, but... Alright, definitely gonna play... Yeah, Thalia for sure. Thalia so they can't Growth Spiral. Sand might be able to kill them quick enough. We got 18. Next turn we can attack them for 7. So... I guess they could have explosives. Teague is not unreasonable against explosives. I'm just going to Lieutenant and put max pressure on them. They can't Spell Snare me because of the Thalia, so... And they can't really cast a Sweeper next turn. Not that I'm aware of. If they eat on 2, then they can't crack it. They can't cast Fire Spout. They can't cast Supreme Verdict, so... They're going to 11. Let me just present lethal next turn, right? 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, land kills them? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, land kills them. Easy. Thank you for the bits, Otterhouse. Okay, they weren't necessarily dead to that, but... I guess they were going to 1 and they probably didn't have any outs. How did I find the Storm deck? Which one? The Bergie Storm deck? On the draw, I think I like Image a lot less. So now I'm kind of more in on Teague on the draw. Because I just don't like Image. Maybe I'll keep in 1 Image. It's fine. The mono red one, it honestly, it was fun, and whenever I got to go off, it was cool. Like, the games where I drew Bergie, it felt really powerful, but it just felt like it didn't do enough when you didn't draw Bergie. The second Kudra makes this hand a little sus. This hand also can't cast Mantis Rider, which is kind of weird. I mean, we have Champion into Thalia, which I think is good enough, so I think I'm supposed to keep, but I'm not a huge fan of this hand. Isn't Skyclave good versus Uro? I mean, it sort of is, but it's, you know, you get 2 for 1, and if they kill your Skyclave, they just get a 3/3. Like, I'd rather just have Kudro. Kudro just puts more pressure on them. Second Champion is not ideal. Yeah, it is a little bit worse in the draw. Because they can Growth Spot before you can play Thalia. So it's not as good, but still fine. Well, we can guess Rider if we draw it. Going to play Thalia. I'm going to play the Horizon Canopy. Then if I draw Rider, I can just go white, blue, red. They didn't have Growth Spiral, which is good. Snow Forest, it's the Trickery deck. I don't think so. Otterhouse, thank you again for the bits. Path to Exile. I accept. If I draw Magus, which basic would I rather have? Probably Plains, right? Yeah, it's got to be Plains. Plains, yeah. Yeah, Plains. Phantasmal Image, which I'm not going to cast. So I'm going to play my land first, so I can play around Mana Leak. I'm going to cast the Champion, not off the Cavern, and then I'm going to play the Kudro off of the Cavern. It might just Mana Leak this anyways. I'm kind of surprised they kept in Mana Leak, to be honest with you. I am not going to pay, because I really want to get this Kudro into play. Maybe I'm supposed to pay there. I'm really surprised they kept in Mana Leak. I don't think it really does that much. Exile Path in case they have Mystic Sanctuary. Even though they're pretty far off Sanctuary, I don't care about the Mana Leak. They can't cut them all. I guess it's maybe more reasonable in the play. I don't know. It still seems pretty bad. I hope they just snap kill my Kudro. I don't think they're doing that, but... Whoa. Well, I guess I got punished for boarding out Skyclave Apparition. That's a Monka W. Alright, so I think I should... 4, 7, 11, 12. Mantis Rider puts them to 1. Maybe I should sack a land first to try and find Mantis Rider. But I could just double freebooter them, which might be better. 4, 7. That puts them to 4 with 2 freebooters in play. And this is just lethal because these are 2/3s. Yeah, that's probably just better. Just take whatever removal they have. Yeah. What about Champion and then Freebooter? No, because the Freebooters are going to be 2 power, and I could put them to 4 this turn for Rando. So they have to draw a removal spell, they're dead. I think I like this better. So we go here, this, yeah, and then this is 9, it's actually 10 damage, put into 3. But, so they go to 3 with 2 2/3s. And they have 2 lands in their hand, which aren't quite good enough. Putting them to 3 is also gas, because now if they draw something like Supreme Verdict, which they can't actually cast now, but I guess they could Ghost Quarter themselves to potentially cast Verdict. This allows us to have a top deck Mantis Rider for lethal. Hope they don't rip Uro. Yeah, I guess Uro puts them to 7 and makes more blockers. I'm not convinced that Uro's good enough. It buys them a turn, but they're not really anywhere close to escaping it, right? Oh, I can't math. This puts them to 4. I thought it was 3. Oh yeah, I counted the Kudro as 4, but it's obviously not 4. But instead, a good player would rip Hour of Promise, and it still not be enough. All right, we got the match against 4-color Philidor Retreat. For those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 3. YouTube, what's up? Back here for round 3. We are 2-0 on the play. Feels good, man. Let's see what we're playing against over here. With our Boomer Humans deck. Specifically Boomer Humans. Triple Aether Vial against Luris. I don't think I can keep this hand. I don't like Triple Aether Vial. Yeah, this hand's much better. I think I'm going to put back Canopy. Lead on Plains Vial. They take Hierarch. I kind of want to keep this red mana. And, well, Wait. What if I put back Aether Vial? Is that bad? That's bad, right? But I kind of want to keep the Canopy. If I'm keeping the Vial. Maybe I just bit bottom of the Plains. Yeah, that might be better than bottom of the Plains. Do I consider Temur higher than 4-color? I prefer playing the Temur deck to the 4-color deck because it has a much smoother mana base. Yeah, I think you're right. I think on the play vial's too good. I don't mind taking a couple of damage. Like the thing is, if they're Shadow, it could be really bad because it might enable Scourge. But if they're Hammer Time, taking 1 or 2 damage here and there doesn't matter too much because they kill you in large chunks. You know what I mean? Like, they're dealing 10 damage to you at a time. Taking 1 or 2 damage from a Canopy shouldn't matter that much. It does come up if they're playing Scourge of the Skyclaves, in which case taking 2 damage off of this might be pretty relevant. But hopefully Boggles? No, I can't beat Boggles, right? So they're playing Shadow, but they didn't have a 1-drop, which is good. They kept 7 without a 1-mana play. So I don't mind that. Alright, Ziggurat, your move. Uh-oh, chat. Alright, we didn't let him get it. Savai Triome. Wonder what that means. Croxa. So I just discard Silent Clearing and then jam the Mantis Rider. I think that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully I draw a 2-drop. That'd be nice. Alright, I don't need to do that right now. Could be unfortunate if I don't play this and they make me discard my Kudro, but I think that's okay. Because even if that's the case, we can still Skyclave it potentially down the road. Drawing a 2-drop there would have been nice, like a Thalia. Oh, is this the Jabberwocky Bardush? I did see briefly. I saw that Jabberwocky posted it on Twitter. Had like Tidehollow Scholars and stuff like that. Nihil Spellbomb. That I can accept. That I can live with. Alright, so this is, I think, going up to 3. I hope they try and Lightning Bolt me. I think I'm just going to play second Mantis Rider and go to attacks. I guess that kind of stinks if they have double Fatal Push. I could potentially bait out a Lightning Bolt. Play Rider, attack with both. I imagine if they had Bolt, they probably would have bolted on their turn, but I think I'm just going to play Rider. It's possible I'm supposed to play Kudro first to get an extra card out of their graveyard, but I don't know how relevant the Bloodstained Mire is. This also lets me keep up Vial for Apparition if they have a Shadow. Like end step, I get to kill their Shadow, which is kind of dope. But if they do have double Fatal Push, they don't get to draw a card off of this, which... Yeah, okay, so they have double Fatal Push. It's kind of sad. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunate, but we did make it so they couldn't cycle their Spell Bomb. I should have played around that. Inquisition. Well, I guess I have to Kudro now. Because I really don't want them having that Croxa. I get to take Skyclave, which is annoying, but they can't play Shadow unless they have a fetch land. They can play a 1/1 Shadow. They're just going to lure us here. That's fine. Alright, so let's always no to this. Perfect draw step. wonder if I should attack with the Noble or sack the Canopy. Honestly, I think I should just attack with Noble. Puts them to 8. Noble attacks for 1. Oh, yeah, because of Exalted. True. So there's actually no point attacking with Noble. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So I guess I might as well just do this now in case I find a Rider. Alright, can't quite cast that. Yeah, you're definitely right, though. I guess there's some consideration to leaving the Canopy because it's mana to activate the Kudro, because Ziggurat does not do that, but... Three mana. 2 red, so it doesn't look like a Lurrus. It's not ideal. Save 2 cards, one of which is a Lurrus. Land would be nice. Nah, just Meddling Mage Lurrus, I think. I guess I should attack first. Pretty sure I'm naming Lurrus here. Yeah. Oops. Lurrus. You can go. And in case they kill the Meddling Mage and play Lurrus, I'm just going to exile Spellbomb. I could have potentially named Death Shadow there, but I know they have Lurrus in their hand. It's a good start for me. Okay, that's fine. Can live with that. See if they found a removal spell. It looks like they did not. So we're going to game number 2. Alright, so Mardu, Shadow. Reflector Mage good, Apparition good, Dismember good, Auriok potentially good. You have a lot of cards for this matchup, huh? What is bad? Image seems kind of bad. I'm not really a huge fan of Image in this matchup. Funny enough, Magus seems good. I think that might be a little too cute. Like, I get that it kind of shuts off their white mana, but... Yeah, I also usually trim on some number of Vial/Noble. I think I'd rather trim Vial before Noble. Like, two Vial, 1 Noble, maybe. Could also cut all the Vials. How many 3s? What's the curve look like here? Maybe shave Thalia on the draw. It's a lot of 2s. 1 Cage to Greedy. You think cut all the Vials? I think cutting all the Vials is pretty reasonable. Like, you kind of just get to a point where you just get to a top deck war. I don't know if I like all the Nobles. I mean, I don't hate it. Could shave Thalia. I think I want all my Kudros. I think I want all my 3s. I could shave a Meddling Mage. I actually hate that. Let's try this. I do think the Vial is not great in the matchup like this. Alright, this hand looks great. This hand has lands, spells, 7 cards. Noble Eat remove for other pals to be free. Yeah. It's just like not the most high impact top deck, but it's not the worst, especially when you have like the cycle lands. I think that might have actually been the wrong land to play on turn 1. I think I should have played Cavern because I have 2 cycle lands. Not sure. The Red Pirate. What's the Red Pirate? Tide Hollow Sculler. Interesting decision they have to make here. They chose to take Kitesail Freebooter. What does that mean? Probably some removal spell. They don't play Bloodmoon, do they? No, they should be Luris. Okay. Play Thalia, or do I want to be mana efficient and play Reflector Mage? And then I can... Yeah, that's actually best, because then I can go Thalia Freebooter next turn. Yeah, I'm going to do that. This lets me use all my mana next turn. Kickshot9, thank you for the follow. The boat guy recommending pirate cards? Yeah, exactly. So I think I should freebooter first. Because if they only have one removal spell, they might have to kill the freebooter, and that might mean then I get to stick the Thalia. I guess I should probably attack first. Well, is there a chance I don't attack with Reflector Mage if their hand is like 3 shadows? 16, 13... There might be. Alright, I guess I'll freebooter first. I think there is a world where I don't attack. It's pretty unlikely, but you never know. So our hand is Shadow, Push, Bolt, Souls, Sculler. So I think I'll take Fatal Push. And then I'll go to attacks. I don't think they're going to kill the Noble Hierarch. Alright. Because it seems like they want to just kill this Thalia. Which is fine because we drew a second Thalia anyways. Alright, Bolt, Sculler, this. So they played the Bolt. So this is their hand right now? So they're most likely going to fetch, shock, push the Thalia. And hopefully untap and play Shadow. Which then we can Reflector and play Thalia and get in a hit. They're probably going to play Shadow Souls next turn, I would assume. Although maybe they'll go Sculler Shadow. That's probably better, actually. Yeah, so they're probably going to go Sculler Shadow pass. Well, they have to fetch anyways, right? Go to 10. Yeah. So they're definitely going to take this. Makes their Souls a little bit worse because now they don't have a removal spell for this. So there's upside at least. They're going to play Shadow. Which is fine. Interesting. If I just double spell and say go with these 2 canopies in play. It's actually pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Make their future Scullers and all discard spells blank. We have a blocker for the Shadow, so they can't really attack. Maybe I should have attacked with Reflector Mage there, actually. Because they didn't have a good block on the Shadow. They would have to double block. In which case, I'd just trade for Sculler and get my other Mage back. Yeah, I probably should have attacked there, actually. Okay. Dismember would be a hell of a draw. It's It's pretty good too. Hmm. Their list does not run TBR. Good to know. Okay. I wonder if I should get greedy. And bounce... No, I just bounce Shadow and attack with Reflector Mage, right? Yeah. Then I can end step crack a Canopy. Expect me to be... Well, I'm not going to crack till their end step. But now this is a pretty free attack. Oh, on Shadow, yeah. Yeah, so now I'll just crack the Canopy on their end step. Just going to go to 7, that's fine. They're in a pretty rough spot. Yeah, drawing that second Reflector Mage was huge. 2 mana. It's a flashback. Yeah. It's fine with me. 2 more life. They also cannot... Oh, they don't have 3 mana anyways, but they can't gate command. MC Derp 4, thank you for the follow. Alright, that's a blank. So let us crack this other Canopy. See what we can find. It's also kind of a blank. Are we attacking with 1 thing or 2 things? If I attack with all 3 of these, they're at 7. So if I attack with 2 mages and a Thalia, their blocks are triple Reflector Mage, double Reflector Mage, take 2, but then they just give me back the Reflector Mage. So they can't really afford to block with this. In which case, they realistically only have 4 blockers, so they only have 1 good block. They can triple block Thalia and go to 3, or they can triple block a Mage, chump this, go to 5. Love the music, man. How do you get it on stream? It's just through Spotify. Yeah, I think I'm just going to send with all 3 of these. They don't really have good blocks. Alright, they have a Fatal Push. Basic Plains, huh? Path to Exile, maybe? Sure. Yeah, so they're going to triple Thalia and go to 4, probably? Triple Reflector. I guess that's better against Phantasmal Image. That makes sense. Alright, that's fine. Tap this for green. Play the other Hierarch. Play our Clearing, which will crack into turn. And we just have this champion that bricks the Death Shadow, so they just need to find... Dismember, Reflector Mage, Mantis Rider, any of the above. And I've been told by chat that their deck does not contain Team or Battle Rage. So, they probably are going to have a hard time beating this card. Meddling Mage, huh? It's a pretty good one. White, white. Actually, what am I meddling maging here? What's worst case scenario for me? Probably. Well, do I even care about Luris? I don't even think I care about Luris. Team or Battle Rage, maybe? Yeah, but I've been told by chat that their deck doesn't have TBR. I kind of want to name a removal spell. Yeah, I think I'm going to name a removal spell. And they haven't cast any paths yet, and I assume their deck has 4 path in it, and they've already cast 2 bolts and a push, so I guess I'll just name path. Well, if they're going to path in response, then maybe I'll do something different. Okay, now I'm probably not going to name path. Maybe just name Lingering Souls? Souls kind of buys them a lot of time. I could just name a removal spell like Pit Path or Push. It's still just better to name a removal spell? I'm not sure. Attack for 4, they have the jump block. Yeah, I guess I could name Shadow, because Shadow's probably their best card that they could draw. I think it's either Shadow or Lingering Souls, but Shadow's probably worse for me. But they're just kind of in an awkward spot anyways, because I can just jump block the Shadow for a couple turns. Right? There's no reason to cast that pre-combat. I think I'm just attacking with all 3 of my creatures and seeing what they do. Yeah. This feels like we got him. I also think that too. The best thing they could do is trade for Meddling Mage, chump block value, go to 2. But that's fine. I guess I could have also named Kozilek's Return, because that might be really the only way I lose this game. So maybe that was the correct name. I don't know if they play... It doesn't make sense for their deck to have K-Return, though, right? If they're playing Lingering Souls. There's no way they have K-Return in their Lingering Souls deck. I can't imagine. But that is one of the cards that I could lose to. Kaya's Guile. That one's probably not going to be good enough. Kill a Noble, make a 1/1 for 4 mana. Not the best. So now they can trade here, go to 2. I would assume. Yeah, that's fine. All this is Gucci. Now we have the Reflector Mage, which I get to cast here, so I don't think they have any outs. There are 2. I'm just going to play it all. Because this doesn't even die to K-Return if they have that card. Now if they draw Shadow, they are still dead. Yeah. Guess they could draw Lingering Souls. Should have made a 1/1 gain 4 rather than make you set. Yeah, I felt like sacking the Noble just didn't really accomplish much. I agree. They probably should have gained 4 life. Plague Engineer, on the other hand. Oh, you're saying if... Well, they can't play Plague Engineer because they have Luris. Avenge You? Is this the person you lost to? Return does kill Auriok. Return is colorless. It looks like we have a good shot at that, because I'm up a game and I don't think my opponent has outs. We shall see. Alright, our opponent has given us the GGs. So that was Mardu Death Shadow with some Path to Exile, Kaya's Guile, Tidehall Sculler. I didn't think that was going to be the best matchup in the world, especially because they have a cleaner answer to Auriok Champion and Path to Exile. But because apparently they don't have access to Temur Battle Rage, I'm not quite sure on what the exact list looks like. But it is, if a champion stays in play, it's harder for them to interact with because they don't have Temur Battle Rage. But again, for those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 4. YouTube, we are back for round number 4? Yeah, round number 4. We're 3-0. On the draw, our opponent mulligan to 6. This hand has 2 lands, 2 1-drops. Pretty decent mix of lands and spells, so I'm definitely going to keep this. See what we're playing against. Opponent has went to 6 cards. And they stayed on 6. Oh, is this the Trickery deck? Well, I hope I don't get turn 2'd. It's just better to play Noble here, right? Then I can just go Champion into Middling Mage. Yeah. All right, chat. Ready? We got to hold. Hope we don't get turn 2'd. Your turn. Hope we don't get turn 2'd. We did not get turn 2'd. I think. I guess they could still have Spirit Guide Violent Outburst, but... Well, I should probably not tap this territory. Let's tap this. Alright, show me that you can beat this Meddling Mage. Can you beat it? That's funny. They trick-read my mage and I hit a Thalia anyways. That's hilarious. Oh, that is so good. That is way too good. Well, I hope they don't have 2 Cascade spells. This is all I got is this freebooter. I guess they could trickery this. Alright, thanks. I'll take the free lieutenant. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they can't even go off next turn, right? Because they need 5 mana with the Thalia in play. This is 4, 7, 8, 9. So I have 11 damage in play right now. I guess I'll do the Cavern one first. I think it matters too much which one I do first, but... A burst. So right now we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it's just lethal. Yeah, it's just lethal. 5, 8, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Cool. Alright, 6. Yeah, it's lethal. Alright, game 2. This is why you don't play Trickery. That's hilarious. They Trickeried our Meddling Mage and we hit... Basically, I mean, they can't really beat Thalia or Meddling Mage, so, you know. Alright, Skyclave can get out of my deck. Reflector Mage, also not ideal. Does Teague stop them? Teague stops Brilliant Ultimatum, because they sometimes play that one. Cage does not stop Trickery. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring in Magus. Because I don't really think they play many basics. And nothing else in my sideboard really does anything. I'm actually a card short in this matchup. I guess maybe I keep in 1 Reflector Mage. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's not very good, I agree. It's less of a blank than Reflector Mages, you know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Kellen. I don't know if I want 2 mages. Like, I think 1 is good enough. I think 1's fine. No Lavinia. Lavinia's a human, right? Lavinia might be a good one to sideboard. But I don't think you need help in this matchup. Like, you already have like a million 10 out of 10s, you know? Well, you have to draw lands in order to cast your 10 out of 10s. Ugh. Can I really keep this hand? They went to 4. So this hand has to draw a Thalia, a Mage, or a Freebooter for it to be actually good. I think I'm okay staying on this. I think I'm going to keep this. Just ship these 2. Yo, Tannen with the big host, 103 viewers. Thank you for the host, buddy. Hope you had a great stream. Welcome, everybody, from Tannen's stream. We're playing some Modern Humans. Hope you had a good one. How did they beat Meddling Mage? They sideboard into Blast Zone, but I think that's their only out, right? They mulligan to 3. So that's kind of cool. Druid Cavern, not the worst. Alright, let's take a Meddling Mage off the top, please. Oh, wow, we're just getting turn 2. They mulled the 3! Alright, maybe they'll hit a monkey because their deck is bad. They had a brilliant ultimatum. Brick? Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, next game. Submit. Don't get fooled, chat. Tybalt's Trickery is unplayable. Don't get fooled. But, you know. Don't be fooled. I have a turn 2 uncounterable Meddling Mage. Am I not going to get a turn 2? It looks like I might not. I mean, I can't do any better than this. When I'm on the play, I literally cannot do better than a turn 2 Meddling Mage. So. It's just too inconsistent. I mean, obviously, you know, my opponent still could just hit a Spirit Guide because they're playing a bad version. Like, they could just Cascade into Spirit Guide or Trickery into Spirit Guide. I mean, obviously they didn't, but yeah, I don't know. All right, unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that match. We got turn 2, so that was cool. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in just a little bit for round number 5. All right, YouTube, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can bounce back from that unbelievable round number 4 where we got turn 2 and turn 1. Fun format. We're on the draw. This hand seems a little too slow for me. Also 2 images, which isn't very good. Yeah, this hand's an easy mulligan. No 1-drop. We can't even cast Vial if we draw it because we have 2 Ziggurats. We have 2 images, which are just not the best in this particular hand. So, yeah, easy mulligan. I mean, all you have to do is play Force Negation and you win. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the trick. I just figured out how to beat Tybalt's Trickery. Play Force Negation and they can't win. It's that easy. Sam doesn't have any green mana. What if I just put back this Noble Hierarch? Just go turn 1 Champion, turn 2 Mage? That's actually fine. Until they ban Trickery, I'm just going to play Force Negation and punish these people for falling for the scam. That's all. That's all you have to do, chat. I put a Noble on the bottom and drew it anyways. And I have a Silent Clearing against Burn. This is not good. Burn has always been one of those, like, Burn versus Humans is like a tale as old as time. Yeah, the Force decks are expensive, but if you can afford Forces, then you can't ever lose to that deck, so it's fine. Another Lieutenant. Not ideal. I could play Meddling Mage. I kind of think I just have to get really aggressive here. Not this turn. I think I'm going to hold back this turn. Although if I hold back and they have Lightning Bolt, they just bolt this. I go to 9. Assuming I draw a land for Rider, I go to 8. After I tap this... 17. Yeah, but it makes them bolt the champion and not me, which I think ends up being better. I probably can't win this game anyways, but I could have just Meddling Mage Lightning Bolts, I guess. Maybe that was better. Okay, Cavern's not a bad find. The Silent Clearing is really doing me in, though. So now I could Noble Lieutenant. Is that better than playing Mantis Rider? Go to 8. Mantis Rider pushes 5 damage. I think Noble Lieutenant might actually be better. Question is, where do I want the other counter? Do I want it on this or do I want it on this? Probably just want it on this. So let's go this. Then I could potentially chump block with Noble Hierarch, and then offer this trade. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably just too far behind in this game anyways, but... Being on the draw against turn 1 Gambler Guide, kind of rough. I have to go to 3. I don't think I have any outs. Obviously, I have to chump block. I'm not going to 1. And, I mean, their hand's all spells, so it literally just doesn't matter. Because they missed a land drop for 2 turns. We know their hand's all spells. They somehow have all 2-mana creatures. Maybe I can win, but... We died. Just run Deafening Silence, and it's also good versus prowess, yeah. Yeah, the Deafening Silence, another card they can't beat. You can't really play Deafening Silence in this deck because you don't have any actual... You don't really have enough white sources, right? Alright, so against Burn, we want Champion, Reflector, probably, Skyclave, maybe. I'm not a huge fan of Skyclave against Burn. I think Image is horrendous. I mean, Image does copy Champion, so maybe it's a little bit more relevant. Maybe I just don't want any Skyclaves. Could do this on the play. I do think that cutting some number of Magus Rider is reasonable on the draw, because you just don't have that kind of time for that. But on the play, I think you can race them. So I think I'm going to do this on the play, and then we'll reassess in the draw. There's no slasher command. Alright, we get to be in the play. This hand's great. I have 2 champions. Snap the keep. Well, as long as you're on the play. Sometimes you're on the draw and you just get... Well, I guess you can't really get turn 1 when you're on the draw, unless they have 2 Spirit Guides, but... I will take. I will cast my Auriok Champion card. I think I might just not block. Although if they Skullcrack me, I just get to play more champions anyways. Grand Drow, thank you for the follow. Alright, well now I'm blocking. Because now they don't have Skullcrack up. Now I get to play Champion Freebooter as well. Rift Bolt. I will take 1 damage. Whoops. Ooh, Meddling Mage against the Rift Bolt? It's probably better than playing Thalia, right? Although, if I play Champion Meddling Mage... They can kill the mage on upkeep, but they can't Searing Blaze the Meddling Mage on their upkeep because they don't have landfall. Am I playing in the prelim? Nah, probably not. I'm just going to play Leaks tonight. So I'm definitely leading on this. That's the easy part. This is the easy part. Now the second part is where it gets a little bit trickier. So if I play Mage, name Riftbolt, they upkeep... DJF Sappy with the Twitch Prime. Thank you for using your Twitch Prime on me. I appreciate that. Welcome to the Doom Room. I think it's better to just play Meddling Mage. It's kind of close. This is really good if they have Searing Blaze. And I'm actually going to attack. Because if they have Skullcrack, I kind of don't want to block with both anyways. So, this is fine. Because they're likely, what they're going to do... I guess if they have Skullcrack, they can't kill the Meddling Mage. Well, they could. They could just go kill the Meddling Mage, upkeep, play a land, have up Skullcrack, potentially. But, like, now they Searing Blaze the Meddling Mage, and I can just kind of snap block their Swift Spear. They should probably just attack first, actually. Because I might not have blocked with Champion if they attack first. Unless they had Path to Exile, then it makes more sense, but... But now I just get a free block, because we know that they can't Skullcrack us. Another Rift Bolt. DJ Kastner, thank you for the follow. Alright, let's go... Black, this, Freebooter you. See what's going on over there. A Boros Charm. Alright, let's just play all of our cards. I think I could probably afford to attack for 2 as well. I'm at a high enough life total. Yeah, this game should be pretty trivial from here. They have to pay a mana for the Rift Bolt, and then they can't even cast the Boros Charm unless they find a land. Oh, they can kill Thalia, sure. Then they don't have the Boros Charm. They're off it. Yeah. Alright, so do we want to do anything different on the draw? So this is kind of the situation where I was considering shading Mantis Rider on the draw. But I also don't really know what I would want instead. I could maybe have Skyclave, because it's a little bit better at playing catch-up. Maybe like 2 Rider for 2 Skyclave. How do we feel about that? I don't hate that. When you're on the draw, it's less about trying to race them and more just trying to stabilize. You know what I mean? I think I might actually try that. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Prefer Mantis over Kudro. I like that Kudro pumps up your Auriok champions. Best part of the new set is using old Snowlands. I hate the frame on the new Snowlands on Moto looks pretty bad. I'm not a huge fan of that. It's one thing I dislike heavily about the new set. Alright, we'll obviously be mulliganing this hand. No lands. This hand's kind of dicey, but I think on 6 I'm willing to keep this. If I find a land, it's quite good. I'm just going to put back this Mantis Rider. I think more decks should run Gemstone Caverns in main or board. Not every deck wants Gemstone Caverns. I've seen modern decks using Mystic Reflection well. I have not seen any yet. So they have Lightning Bolt here. So their plan is to what? Bolt by 1 drop and play an Eidolon? Excuse me. I'm trying to think if there's any reason I should play Champion here, because it's obviously going to die, and I'd rather have the Champion die than Hierarch. If I draw land, I play Champion, they kill it, untap, land, Eidolon. I draw land, play Auriok Champion. A turn after, I'm going to want a Reflector Mage if I find a land anyways. Problem is if they're bluffing and they don't have Lightning Bolt, but how often are they bluffing here? Probably not enough for me to justify not playing this Hierarch. Yeah. So I assume they're going to be playing an Eidolon here. Which would make the most sense. Ooh, nothing. I like nothing. I don't like drawing Aether Vial, though. That is unfortunate. I mean, if they want to keep killing my creatures, I am okay with that. That is a game that I think I am heavily favored in. Okay. Okay. 13 with 3 cards. I need to find a land here. I didn't want it to. I should have specified. I didn't really want it to be a Horizon Canopy. I think I have to play Champion. Especially because I drew the Canopy. It doesn't feel great, but... It does not feel great. So they likely have 3 burn spells. Maybe another Boros Charm. Lightning Helix. 9 with 2 cards. 3 cards. Alright. Land 4 is decent-ish for me. No Searing Blaze. I'd like to find a land here. Alright, so now I'm going to cast Meddling Mage, and I'm probably going to name Boros Charm, unless they Boros Charm me in response. If they Skullcrack me in response, I'll probably still name Boros Charm. So I'm going to 6. Maybe I'm not supposed to name Boros Charm. But they've cast 1 Bolt, 1 Boros Charm, 1 Lava Spike, 2 Helixes. I could see naming a 1-mana spell. I could also see naming Searing Blaze because it's the one they haven't cast yet. They had Boros Charm. Yeah, that's true. They would have blazed on my turn if they had it instead of just playing Helix. So they probably don't have Blaze. So we determined they probably don't have Blaze. They probably would have cast Boros Charm if they had it, so they probably don't have Boros Charm. So their hand is not Blaze or Boros Charm. I guess it could just be another Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt would kind of make sense. Skewer. I don't know if they play for a Skewer. I think I'm just going to name Lightning Bolt. And maybe just die anyways. But... You love to see it. Always drawing cards with the 5 months. Tier 1. D-O-Ohm Pog, indeed. Thank you for the 5 months, buddy. Welcome back to the Doom Room. Appreciate you. Alright, 3 cards, 6 life. I need to find a land that doesn't deal me damage, ideally. And then I can windmill the second Meddling Mage. Ugh, unfortunate. Now I guess I just play Thalia now, because I'm going to be at 6. Well, no, it's still probably better to play Meddling Mage, right? Because even if I play Thalia, if they have a 2-mana spell, they can just cast a 2-mana spell in response and untap and cast another 2-mana spell. So I don't think Thalia actually does anything. But I think my best shot is to just Meddling Mage and try and spike. They didn't cast a spell in response. What is their hand? If they had Helix, or Boros Charm, or Skullcrack, they would have cast it in response, right? Does that mean their hand is all Skewers? Could be. But they couldn't Skewer last turn. The turn that they cast Helix... Well, no, because they could have Skewered that turn, right? Because didn't they have an extra mana? No, because they cracked a land and left up 2, so they couldn't Skewer that turn. They couldn't Skewer the last turn as well. Yeah, I honestly think that Skewer is the one that makes sense the most. There's no way that they wouldn't cast Boros Charm in response here. I think Skewer makes the most sense. That's my read, at least. I'm going to go with that. I don't think they play Light Up the Stage. Definitely not casting this file, because it's largely irrelevant. There's no chance they brought in Deflecting Palm, right? Maybe, is there any way I should play around Deflecting Palm? No, because then I can't kill them next turn, right? 3, they go to 11, 4... Yeah, like, the Palm's gonna get me no matter what. I guess they could have Path. Path would also be kind of reasonable for a card they could have. But I'm not supposed to name Path with Meddling Mage, I don't think. They did have... Oh, they chose Meddling Mage. I see. Alright, well... That's unfortunate. So they just have 2 bolts. I guess I could have played around this by playing Thalia, right? No, I still would have lost, right? Because even if I'd played Thalia, they had 2 mana up, so they just Path the Meddling Mage in response, bolt me, Thalia resolves, untap, bolt me, so it didn't matter. Yeah, so there's no way I could have beat that. Unless I named bolt with the second one, right? That's the only other way I could have played around that, was naming bolt with the other one. But they knew that I probably wasn't going to name bolt with the second one. That was an interesting game. 3-2 to the league. Not the most ideal. That match against Burn was a lot of fun. More fun than match number 4, for sure. For those of you watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.